Hi, it's Tony here from Achievers Group once again. Hey, please, really thankful that you're actually participating and watching these videos. What I wanted to do today is just share with you some ideas on some principles of time management. And these have been around for a long time, and I think we explained to you in the past series is that before you apply these principles of efficiency, you've got to make sure that you've actually got your compass sorted out. This is about winding up the clock in this section, but it assumes that you've got the compass sorted out. Your compass is your true north. So let's just assume that you've got your compass sorted out. You know what your purpose of your business is. You've got your vision. You've got your culture. You've got your mission. Let's now wind up the clock. So I'm just going to give you some nuggets, and these have been around for a long time. There's nothing new or original here. You've probably heard about these before, but I think it's really important to be reminded of the stuff that actually does work. Number one, I think in time management, it's really important to set goals. But I think it's really important to make sure that your goals are visible. Let me explain to you. When I was in the corporate arena, I had some huge teams. And I still remember that I used to have a huge blackboard in my office. And what I used to do with each of my executive team members, every single month, we used to sit down with them, and I used to actually write down with them in agreement, not domination, facilitation, what their key goals were for the month, what they wanted to achieve. And all that I would do is that every week I would meet up with them and we would look at the whiteboard and actually say, have you achieved that? Have you achieved that? Have you achieved that? But the other thing that we actually did, and this is really important, is that anytime they achieved one of those goals, I didn't ask them to rub it out. I just asked them to cross it out. Because what I wanted to do is at the end of each month, I wanted to actually show them how much they had already achieved. Because nothing builds momentum like achievement. And I felt that was really particularly useful. So I think it's really important to set goals. I think it's really important to make sure those goals are visible. I think it's really important to cross out goals as you've achieved them. I think it's really, really important to have actually goals that are monthly. And I would meet them with them weekly, and we would just go through those goals. The other thing that used to occur is that occasionally I would holler and scream at them saying, I want this done right away. Now, I gave them the opportunity of coming back to me and say, well, Tony, I've heard what you've said, but these are my goals that we've agreed to. Can you show me where you want me to put that? Because the problem I had is that when they focused on that, they couldn't do the other stuff, and then I got upset with them for not doing the other stuff. So I gave them the opportunity of reprioritizing those goals with me to challenge me of what is the true importance of those priorities. Number two principle in time management is plan every day in advance. Some of us, like me, I don't always sleep well. And one of the reasons I don't sleep well is because I think about the things that I have to do the next day. And what we do is we sometimes write a list in the morning when we're at work, and we write the list of all the things I want to achieve during the day. A very smart philosophy that may actually assist you enormously is not to do that. Is to actually spend half an hour before you finish the day before and write the goals of what you want to achieve the next day. And I've told this to many people, and they go, wow, it is extraordinary what sense of direction and peace you have that night, because you already know what you're working on and your mind can start working on those things. You know, seek and you shall find. You know, in order to find, you've got to seek. And sometimes by writing that stuff down, your mind starts to seek those things and you find them. So plan every day in advance. Certainly lists are really, really important. And whatever list you use, just use it. Really important to have lists. Number three principle of time management is what is called the Pareto principle. You've heard it. Pareto was an Italian economist of the 15th century who came to this amazing conclusion that 20% of the Italian population gives 80% of the wealth. And I'm Italian, I understand that, because they were basically the north and the south of Italy. And the Pareto principle has been extended into many areas, and it says that 20% of your activities will give you 80% of your results. And what it really says from a time management perspective is focus on the 20%. Between you and me, don't sweat the small stuff. Number 4, consider the consequences. Now, and this is really important. One of the real reasons that I write job descriptions and KPIs for team members is because I want them to be totally clear of what is expected from them. Because I know my team is really, really good. And sometimes I get upset with them, but I should be upset with me because I haven't given them absolute clarity of what I expect. They're actually thinking they're doing a good job, right? And they really honestly think they're doing a great job. It's just that I haven't given them clarity. And what consider the consequences is ask yourself, what happens if I don't do this? What will happen to my career and my business? And if the answer is not good to that, I would consider that to be a very high priority. If somebody says, oh, I'm going to lose my job and I'm going to lose my business if I don't make sales, I really think that that's a really, really important task to do. Number 5 is practice the ABCDE methods. And all the ABCDE method is that instead of prioritizing what you want to do 1, 2, 3 or 4, which is really good because that focuses on what is urgent, the ABCDE method tries to introduce a sense of importance. So A is I must do, B is could be, should do, C is can do, D is delegate, E is eliminate. And all you do is you do A1, A2, A3, B1, B2, B3. So effectively you're working on A1 first because you've incorporated the 1 being its urgency, the A being its importance. And that is the ABCDE method. I don't practice that one myself, but I've heard others who do that and they get outstanding results. Next one, focus on your key results areas. Pretty obvious. This is what I'm paid to do. You know, if you're a salesperson, you're supposed to sell. If you're an accountant, you're supposed to know how to count. Usually, your job title and even your job description should give you some reference to what you should be doing. Number 7 is Bayer law, the forced efficiency. It basically says there's never enough time to do everything in your day. And you have to come to that amazing conclusion. But you know what is amazing about life? It is extraordinary how much you do achieve during that day. It basically works on the principle that although you can't achieve everything, you'll achieve the most important things. What are those most important things? Number 8, I've talked to you this before. It's really important from a time management perspective is to focus on your God-given strengths. It's really important to actually really focus on what you are really good at. In fact, I actually believe that your strengths is where your prosperity comes out of. And I would actually continue to develop your strengths because a lot of people have a strength. We call it a talent. But a talent will only take you so far. If you incorporate discipline and talent, you will develop sustainable character. And that character will lead to success. So I believe that it's great to have strengths, which is a talent, but I think you need to add to those strengths by continuing to work harder and harder on improving those strengths. And what you want to do is you want to staff your weaknesses. So you actually potentially want to stop becoming the general manager of the world. You actually want to say to people, you are better at that than I am. Clearly, you've got a talent for that. And that's really important to do because that's what business is about, is actually getting the right talent, doing the right job at the right time. And what you then want to do is you actually want to staff your weaknesses. Really important to do that. Really important to actually have a team that's not like you. In fact, in most businesses that I've seen, I'm not necessarily going to go to the pub with everyone because I don't naturally would socialise with those people. But what I do know about them is that what I hate doing, they love doing. And what they hate doing, I love doing. To me, that is a great team. Number 10, take one step at a time. You know, there's an amazing story about a marathon. I don't know if it's true. It's urban myth that you hear around the speaking circuit. He was obesely overweight. He was just huge. He was fat. And he basically wanted to, run a marathon. And he actually set a goal. He said, you know what I'm going to do? I'm not going to even try to run 10 miles because I'm never going to make 10 miles. So all he did, he actually said, I'm going to run to the telegraph pole. And every day, he actually ran to the next telegraph pole. And I'm led to believe that within the space of 1 year, he actually became an incredibly good runner. So the principle is, take one step at a time. Next one, put pressure on yourself. Incredible time management principle here. Ever been on holidays? I have. You know, it's the most amazing thing when you're on holidays. It's amazing how much you achieve the day before. It is amazing how your desk can be cleared. It is amazing how by going away for 2 weeks and not having in the office at all, it is amazing how you delegate and dump things. It is amazing how procrastination is broken like that. The reason why is because you put pressure on yourself to make decisions. And just imagine having that philosophy, not only when you're about to go on holidays, but every single day of your working life. Number 12, guys, is work out your peak performance time. I'm a morning person, unquestionably. I get up at 5:30 in the morning and I actually work really, really hard from 5:30 to 9. I'm not an evening person. So if you know your body clock, don't fight against it, flow with it. Number 13, motivate yourself into action. Look for the good in every situation. Don't look for the bad. Look for the good. Look, play above the line. Actually say, this is not a problem, it's just a challenge. Okay, we will overcome. Number 14, learn to say no. It's called practicing procrastination. Don't let your mouth overload your back. You know, a lot of people have some real challenges saying no to people. Have the ability to say, no, that's not my job. Have the ability to actually say, no, that is not my responsibility, especially if you're a leader, because sometimes when you're leading teams, what happens is they've got monkeys on their back and they want to cast them onto you. And guess what happens? They want to do that because they're going to themselves, this is fantastic because you take all the load. So you do everything, you work the most and you earn the least sometimes. And what happens at the end of the day, you have about 14 monkeys on your back. You are totally exhausted solving everyone else's problem. One of the key strategies that I have been able to master is the ability to say no, the ability to delegate, the ability to say, that is what I pay you to do. I can't do it for you. I'll mentor and I'll coach you. But I'm here to support you, but I can't do your role. Number 15, chunk everything down. There's an old saying, I have no idea why you would even consider doing this saying, but it says, how do you eat an elephant? One bite at a time. Not that you would want to eat an elephant, but I'm just figuring there is some story behind that. Number 16, single-handle every task once. You know what I'm talking about there. We have this enormous ability to actually look at a bit of paper, put it down, then look at it again, then look at it again, or what even worse is emails. You know, you look at your emails 3 or 4 times, you don't even act on it. So it's really important to single-handle task every task just once. The principle of one touch. Do it, dump it, or delegate it. And number 17, finally, is an amazing slide called Eat That Frog. And all that it is, it's a wonderful book by Brian Tracy called Eat That Frog, which a lot of these principles did come from, which we've just enhanced and added to. And in this amazing book, Brian Tracy suggests that we've got to learn how to eat the frog first. What he's saying is, just imagine I had a glass of water and I put a frog in the glass of water and I drank the glass with the frog the first thing in the morning. You would go, yuck, that's terrible. But that's not the point. The point that Brian was making, and it's a very good point, is that anything you drink after that is going to taste good. The principle is, do the thing that you fear the most and fear will go. What we sometimes do is we avoid confrontation. We avoid difficult conversations. We think the tooth fairy is going to take it away. Okay, what I'm suggesting that you actually do is get it over and done with at the beginning of the day, because you will notice that you will have so much more clarity because you won't be thinking about that particular aspect. Okay, guys, that's it. It's been a long one. Just wanted to say thank you and thanks for listening. And thanks for caring, and God bless you all.